All right. So, hello, salutations. I am doing today with I don't know if you don't know her by now. I don't know what rock you're hiding under, but we have new co-artistic director of Sound Theater Company, Jay O'Leary Woods. Hey, hey, hey.
Yes. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know Shermona, you too have been under a rock, several rocks. But you may very well be. I just had a small stroke. You may very well be familiar with Shermona, but what you may not know yet is that she is now officially our board president at Sound Theater Company. And we are so glad, girl, we are so glad to have you.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited, there's excitement. There's a little bit of like, oh gosh, I hope I don't mess this up. Isn't this a marvelous promotion? But yeah, we're all here to do work. We're all here to serve. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. And for maybe, let's have a little backstory.
Oh, hello.
Who don't know, who may not be very well acquainted with your sound theater specific journey, do you want to talk to the people a little bit about how you've come to be involved with sound and how you came to know Teresa, all of that?
Ah, you want me to go back in them those dark files? So yes, I met Teresa Thuman at Cornish College of the Arts. I was a student there. She was my voice and speech. I think, yeah, my voice and speech teacher my sophomore year. It was her first year. It was my second year, and I was a different creature than I am now. So the fact that Teresa Thuman even talks to me is a miracle. But that's how I met Teresa. And then I worked with Teresa again my senior year. We did Pericles, and she merged the goddess Diana and Gower and that character, and I was cast as that character, so we worked together then. And then in the late, not the late 2020s, what do we call that? Aughts. Um, I think it was after Wild Party. Everybody had been talking about sound, but they had really started to like make a name for themselves. And Teresa called me on board for one of their shows that they were doing, and Jesus moonwalked the Mississippi. So I worked on that show, and then I did the Last Days of Judas Iscariot, and then I
And,
worked.
and delivered an award winning performance.
You know what? I got to play in the way that we all hope to. So yes, if people want to give me an award for that, I'm gonna take it. But I am always just very pleased to be working and to hang out with really talented people who keep pushing the bar. So that's what that experience was. Then what did I? Then where did I go? We did Citizen. I worked with you with Citizen. Then I also did some admin work for them for a quick minute, and then you and I came together again for one of the few shows of 2020, and we worked on reparations. You directed, and I assistant directed, and that was amazing, and just talented artists to be in a room with and to just watch. And Darren's work is always amazing, so we love that. We love that. I want to talk about how you got to where you are. How did you meet Teresa? How did you meet me? Why?
Well, I met your behind during Into My Emerging Artists program, and that was in the summer of 2016. Can you believe that?
When I met you in the actual program. Love
Mhm.
at first sight.
At first sight, okay? And it's been since July, essentially, then July 2016. Dang. Girl, we've been on a journey for real.
Love it.
I journeyed to sound. Um, I too kind of came to it by hearing a lot about sound theater. I was like, oh, what are they doing over there? It seems like a lot of these theaters at large, right, are wanting to do certain things, and it's all very performative and gestural and all of that stuff, and most of the time falls flat, very flat. And Sound Theater, to my knowledge at the time, was out here really shaking things up, making a lot of waves, really out there taking risks, owning those risks, learning from mistakes, and building and growing and just maintaining and trying to fight the good fight. And so I was like, who is this? So I found Teresa Thuman on Facebook and I just sent her a message and I was like, hi, my name's Jay. And it sounds like Sound Theater is really doing the thing. How can I get involved? Can I assist? Can we talk? Would you like to get coffee? And she responded saying that she had actually been meaning to reach out to me because she saw Skeleton Crew over at Arts West. And she
Mhm.
said that, and this was just a couple months after that, I believe, that I messaged her. And so, you know, these days it's all about sliding in and out of the DMs. Okay. These days, check them, y'all. If you are like, oh, I don't really check my Facebook Messenger, check them. Also, because the first acting opportunity that I ever got in Seattle was Milk Like Sugar, directed by the Malika Oyetaman, the who you may remember, Sound Theater folks, who directed Hoodoo Love. Yes, indeed, Malika Oyetaman. All the glory, all the glory. So, um, I that was a tangent to say always check your messages because sometimes it'll go to spam folder or wherever. Y'all got to stay up on that because if I didn't look in that little cranny, I would have lost that. And that's actually how I met Dimitri, who is now my husband. So here
Hey.
back, boom, 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 sliding into the DM. So Teresa was like, yeah, we can get coffee. Absolutely. So what was really scheduled to be like a 30-minute, 45-minute, just, you know, just under an hour jam. Baby, we're there for about 2.5 hours. And we just got to toot, 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 toot. All of a sudden the sparks are flying, plans are just coming out, right? So it's like, we decided that we would like to be in cahoots together. And so I joined Sound as associate artistic director. Then I moved my behind to Scotland, got a master's degree, still maintained my position the entire time. And then just about a couple weeks before moving back was named co-artistic director. And I'm so glad because every day I learn a lot from Teresa, and I think a lot of us do. She's really a wonderful human who really one of her missions is to just be out here providing space for people, period. And that's really incredible.
Yes, 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 yes. What's really great is I had met with Teresa the weekend that your message had come in to her being like, she's like, Jay O'Leary wants to meet with me. And I was like, yes, take that meeting, take that meeting, take that meeting. She's like, I'm not sure what she wants, but I'm happy to have a conversation. I was like, yes, yes. And just knowing the two of you, and then when worlds collide and you're just like, oh, yes, thank you, universe. So I love that. I love that. And yes, I also second, check your emails, check your junk mail. People over here missing contracts left and right because y'all not checking your emails. Check them. Check them. People could be telling you, you know what? I like your work, or hey, I miss you, but you don't know because you're not checking.
There's your lesson of the day from Shermona and Jay. Maybe we'll start a podcast.
Oh, let's do. Yes. People wouldn't know what to do with the clownery.
They really wouldn't know what to do with that. But girl, actually, maybe we should do that. We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline. So, since you kind of have a long history with sound, you've done a little bit of administrative work for Teresa here and there. You've been on stage, you've been backstage, you then joined the board, and
Yeah.
now you are board president. And you just
Hey,
this morning, as we're talking, as we live and breathe, you just this morning led your first meeting as board president. So, how do you feel about that? And what feels exciting to you just looking at 2021?
yeah, I mean, like, praises and miracles. I love the journey that this has taken, especially with the sound. I'm a really big believer of know your past, know your past. So I was going through all of the minutes from the soundboard meetings, and it's very interesting how often my name was in that room before I was in that room. And I'm just, that is a testament to how much I feel valued by them, and also how much they have invested in me, but how much I also want to be of service to them, and not only to them but to Seattle itself. It is a community that did not have to do anything for me. I'm a believer the world owes you nothing. So the fact that people have rallied and supported and have built me up and given me opportunities, I want to extend the same thing. So when the opportunity to be on the board came up, and my schedule, because let's be clear, that schedule it's a doozy. When my schedule finally allowed it, I was happy to serve on the board and to really learn how boards work, because I think as artists, we're not familiar with how that goes, especially as a global majority person. We're not often told how these meetings run. So to even have access to that, to be in the boardroom and during these meetings. So then when they were like, hey, you want to come do this? And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it, and really taking an inventory of what do I bring to the table, what can I stir up in others, and what does our community need. Lately I've been pondering the question, do we want a community or do we want a company? And I want a community, you know so that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to cultivating relationships, and I know that it's that buzzword of like cultivating relationships, but really it really comes down to, hey, what are you about? What do you like? Cool, you like this, I like this. We cultivated relationships in sandboxes as kids. You like that blue car, I like that blue car. Blue cars.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm really excited about. I'm excited to grow, as an artist, really realizing what it takes to be supportive of artists. It's one thing, a lot of boards, I've had a lot of experience of coming up during shows. They're like, "Oh my god, you were fabulous! What is your name, Sherona? Sherona, you were great."
It's like the
My
no
name is not.
button. You know the no button at
Yeah.
Office Depot? Girl, you need to start carrying that with you. No. No.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I have my own experiences with boards of how I have felt the way that they have treated me. And then I also have the experience of like, yo, 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 don't talk to these artists after a show. Do you like people talking to you right after work? No, you need a minute. You get on that bus, you get in that car, and you're like, let me put these headphones on, let me decompress, and then I can human. And the same goes for this work, So I'm really excited to bring my artist brain to this very logical room and say, hey, let's all have a conversation. Let's all jump in together and let's solve this as a group to serve our community. So that's really what I'm excited about. Um, I would also say, though, for me, I have a new position, but you have a new position as co-artistic director.
It's brand
So
new, only about just a few weeks old.
I know. I remember I was I think I was one of the first to be like, "Okay, hello, congratulations." Mainly cuz I was in the room and I voted on it. But but it was lovely, and I think that's something to be excited for as well. So, what are you looking forward to and in this new kind of journey as co-artistic director of a theater company, let alone sound theater company?
Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I'm really excited to learn and to stretch myself as a leader, and I'm really excited because maybe taking over, or I've already started to take over kind of like the marketing and communications end of things, which has always been very interesting to me to take a look at, how to best communicate what we're doing and how to support our artists, and how do we link with, other organizations and kind of start that outreach. And I'm really excited about that. Speaking of relationship cultivation, it's like I feel like I say that every day now. Yeah, so doing that, I'm excited to be planning the virtual gala that will be coming up in later, early spring. I'm excited for that. And I think just continuing to wade in the water of possibility and lead with abundance and keep going until somebody tells me no, and then
Who's
just
gonna tell you no?
probably
Who's gonna tell you no?
many folks.
I barely tell you no, and like let's be clear, I feel comfortable telling you no, but really, who's out here telling you no?
You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I think that I'm really just excited to continue learning and stretching my legs as a leader and teaming up with Teresa. It's a little odd to think about this time because none of us are producing, but all of us are working on our relationships as an organization. What's the internal health? Because if the internal health isn't right, anything that's going to be exterior, anything that's going to be outward facing is inherently decayed. It's going to come out decayed.
Not functional. It's not acceptable, and yeah, it must be started from a place of purity.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm really interested in focusing on those kinds of relationships in the staff. How does the staff feel empowered when you acknowledge and lead with that there's brilliance in the room, that every single person is in that position because they're supposed to be there, and then you can then actually take that collective brilliance and actually go somewhere, rather than so often you find that there's a lot of tension or a lot of dissonance in a lot of different organizations across any type. Doesn't have to be a theatrical organization, but when you aren't checking in, and sometimes because white supremacy loves to say that there isn't time for anything, when you
Yes.
when you just blow past things and you're worried about product over personhood, your staff isn't going to generate nearly the kind of product you're hoping to generate, but you're still rushing to get that product. You're still rushing to abuse your workers, all of this. So I'm kind of looking at it using this time, because we're not producing beautiful shiny shows. Well, how can you get your inner life together to be beautiful and shiny and all of that stuff? Is just a different manifestation of the work, but it's the same work. As a director, I have to be, just as I arrive in a room as a director with actors and a design team, is the same way that I arrive in a room as a leader, as a supervisor, as a conjurer of fertile space for folks to actually feel like they're free to work and that they want to be there to work.
Conqueror of fertile space. I just needed to give that some presence and let people actually hear that. Conjurer of fertile space. Mm. I mean, this is a weird question for you. Tell me why you love me. Tell me what you like about me. Tell me favorite things. Just tell me.
I tell you every day, but
But tell me so that other people can hear it.
um, something that there's a long list, but I think one thing that stands out is you show up. You show up.
Thank you.
With your whole self, mind, body, spirit. You show up every time, every single time. And that same thing cannot be said about many, many, many people. Not in this way. Not as like 100% Shermona Mitchell. You show up as, and you change a room immediately. The room immediately. And it's always changed for the better. You always have, folks need to get to your level. So anytime you come into a room, the room adjusts to match you. you bring that kind of gravity, that kind of spirit into a room 100% of the time. It can be felt in you as a performer, in you as a director, as a friend, as a leader, as a creator. It comes through on Zoom, Shermona. It comes through on Zoom. So that's what I could say, okay? That's what I could say as one thing about you that is my favorite.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for that. No. I thank you for that blessing. One, glad I have it recorded. But thank you so much for that. That is very thank you for letting me hear that. Thank you. We all have to work on taking compliments, so and hearing things about ourselves. So thank you for letting me hear that. That's wonderful. One, what I love, want to just once again the list. Like I don't even know if mine are lists. Mine are just post-it notes all over the place of things that I love about Jay, and I just rip one off. I look at it, I read it, I laugh it, and I put it back on the wall. Um, what I love about Jay is Jay comes in many forms, and you know everyone has a version of Jay that they think that they know, and I see you in many different forms. um but what I absolutely love about you is your mind, the way that it works, the way that it sees, the way that it makes room for people, the way that you say, hey, I don't have all the answers, but I'm putting people in a room together that can actually get these answers. And I love that. I love how you bring people's names into rooms when you don't have to. There are many rooms that my name has been brought up in because of you, and I'm all like, she don't got to do that. And you were absolutely just out here pulling community members and making a way out of no way. And if that ain't just a black woman thing to do, I don't even know what it is. But I love your hustle, I love your spirit, and I love just seeing all of the different like facets of you, because I seen them. I see the hi, I'm a lady. I see the today I'm not a lady. Today the hold on, let me think, the hold on, I'm hungry. And I'm so blessed to be on this journey with you and in these rooms with you, and watching how your mind sparks creativity and imagination, not only in others, but how it sparks for yourself. You're like, oh, hold on, I just got it. And then it goes through your body and you see it just go through your whole body. And then you're like, okay, let me go work on this real quick. And I just love that. So the energy that you just bring to everything and the way that you lift people up, it is unparalleled, honey. It is unparalleled. So you have my heart. As I said earlier, love at first sight. I cannot wait as a co-artistic director, from your board president to do this work on behalf of sound, and to be out here in these streets cultivating these relationships and these communities, and building bigger, better things with our imaginations, and just changing theater. Let's make some, let's change some.
Incredible. Let's get to it.
Hey, gotta go to work.
Bye.
Bye, love.